How you doing?
This is Pete.
I'm Gary. You just said Gary, so I figured I know who I am.
You know who you are, and I know who we are. So let's tell the folks about what we do.
Okay, so we don't, unlike a lot of shows, we don't suggest that we're experts at anything. In fact, we've proven through our lives, Pete, that we are not experts. But like you out there, we have a million questions. So instead of deciding that we can give you the answers, we're going to bring on experts to answer your questions and our questions. Pete, who do we have on today?
Today we've got Al Rapaport. Al is an expert in lending from Cross Country Mortgage. We're excited to have him here, and maybe we'll just make a fun of him too.
Oh, that's easy. I've known Al a long time, and making fun is the way to go. Should we bring him
Great.
on?
Let's bring Al on.
Here we go. Look, yeah, we're getting messages out there, and it's not the message that you seem to be delivering. You see commercials, a lot of media people, and a lot of unfortunate emails that I'm getting from people who are telling me what a great time it is to buy right now because getting a conventional 30-year loan is really not as big a problem as you think. Just go out there and do it. And I will tell you that last week I was a week away from closing on a house that I was selling, and not a huge surprise, my buyers lost their lending. So what's the scoop? Where are we? We don't want to tell people what they want to hear. We want to tell them what they need to hear.
Sure. I can tell you the mortgage landscape has changed a lot in the last month, 5 weeks or so. Generally speaking, the only safe loans right now, the only safe ones are going to be your conventional, your Fannie Mae, your Freddie Mac, FHA, VA loans. Those are going to be the safest loans available. The jumbo world, the hard money, the non-QM, the specialty lending, that has largely evaporated or gotten very restrictive in terms of what they'll allow from an underwriting perspective. So whereas it's true that, to apply for a conventional loan, you should be able to get that mortgage, the challenge is that underwriting has tightened a little bit over the last month. There's been a number of different things that have tightened up. And also lenders are making sure that people are employed at the time of closing. And that becomes a challenge because we're having record weeks upon weeks upon weeks of record unemployment. And so with people losing their job, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, especially so for someone who's self-employed, because there's further things that we have to do from the lending side to verify someone's self-employment. Got
it. So it actually sounds a little bit more optimistic than I thought you were going to say, which is if you're employed and you're applying for a 30-year conventional loan and you have some money to put down, there's a good chance it's going to happen, or is there a good chance that underwriting might find a reason to put a kibosh on it more so now than before?
I don't think they're looking for a reason to kibosh a loan, right? Ultimately, lenders are in business to write mortgages, right? So I don't think they're going to go out of their way to find reasons to kill deals. That's not what's happening. But is it harder to get a loan right now? Sure. Yeah, I would say that the buyer pool out there has shrunk. The number of people that can qualify for a loan has shrunk. There's fewer lending products available than there were just 2 months ago. So that is making it a little bit more challenging.
So if we were to go back a few years to what I needed to do, which was I wanted to do a refi and I was self-employed. So I'm still self-employed. And if I wanted to go to you now to get a refi and I'm a self-employed guy, what are you going to tell me?
It's doable. We're closing loans for people who are self-employed, but we still need to make sure that your business is in business and that you're still making money. And that becomes a little bit of a challenge, right? Because you can't provide us with a profit and loss statement as you may have been able to in the past and say, hey, look, I was making money 3 months ago. Because the fact of the matter is many businesses are out of business right now. So there's other means and other guidance that Fannie and Freddie have given to us on the lending side to say, these are the acceptable things that we will allow in terms of verification of employment for self-employed people. And there's generally about 3 or 4 different things that they're allowing us to use to make sure that people are still working, receiving income.
Pete, don't you love him because he says it like it is?
Well,
I
now,
hate to say that. I hate to say it in front of them because I like to give them a lot of crap, but
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate that.
so Al, tell us what has been the impact on timing, both from an underwriting perspective and actually getting to closing for a buyer.
Um, we are still closing loans pretty quickly, quite honestly. Now, the challenge about a month ago, maybe 4 to 5 weeks ago, let's say, was that we got flooded with refinances. Rates have been super, super low. So for those people that can qualify for a loan, well, there was a ton of people looking to refinance. So not just us, but every lender out there was having some struggles with dealing with the volume. It wasn't expected, right? Nobody expected rates to be where they are or the economy to be in as bad of a shape as it is. But we've staffed up and we are processing applications. We've closed purchases in, 40 days. That I think in a reasonable time. It's not like it's taking I've heard some competitors that are taking 90 and 120 days. We're not experiencing that.
So that's actually really good news. Thank you.
and it sounds better than some of the emails you were putting out before, which made me want to jump out a window.
At that time, and look, I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, because there is quite a bit of uncertainty in this business. You have to understand that borrowers are in record numbers applying for forbearance, so they're not making their payments. That's presenting challenges to the people who are the lenders that are servicing their loans, right? If you're not collecting money from a borrower, that's a problem. People are defaulting on loans. People don't have the means to repay the loans that they took out even just a couple months ago. I've had some borrowers that frankly, at the time when we closed, they were working. Since then, they've been laid off. It's a problem. And so that is presenting a pretty big challenge in our business. There's all sorts of other things that are going on the secondary market that are also presenting some challenges for lenders. There's margin calls. And frankly, some lenders aren't going to survive them. The value of lenders servicing portfolios, that has gone down a lot, right? If you are receiving a certain amount of borrowers that are paying on their mortgage, well, that's good. But if now it's 20 or 25% less that are paying their mortgage, well, the value of your servicing portfolio isn't what it used to be. So there's a whole lot of things going on right now in our business that's creating pretty big challenges.
One more question that is very pertinent to me and to Pete is we've done some commercial business with you where we've gotten loans for renovations, investment properties. How is that different than residential? Is it better? Is it worse? If Pete and I came to you to get money for a project, are you going to be able to get that to go through so we can build a house?
So the renovation products that we offer are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, and VA loans. And as I mentioned at the beginning, those are still available. For a short period of time, we had stopped taking applications for those, but we have since resumed taking applications for those. The main reason for the stoppage wasn't really that they were unsafe products or they were illiquid. It wasn't that. It was more so that contractors can't do work. So how can you do a renovation loan, which requires contractor work, if you can't have contractors actually doing it? So logically, it made sense to put it on pause. Now we're back to doing those, and people can still apply for those. I'm not talking about hard money loans. I'm talking about Fannie Mae home style,
Yep.
and FHA 203K loans, things like that.
You're shocking me because you're actually making me feel better. And I hope some people who are watching this are feeling better as well. I think that you ought to do a commercial and tell people that if they want to talk to you or reach out to you about discussing loan possibilities, how do they find you?
Well, best way, you could always call or email. I've got clients that do, reach me through text message, any which way. If you're going to call, the best number is 201-604-3485. It's my direct line, comes right to me. And if you're going to email, it's al.rapaport, Rapoport, at myccmortgage.com.
I'd love to talk to you longer. Not really. But I think we're out of time. We want to make sure we hold on to our audience. But listen, I thank you so much for being here. I really do rely on you for quite a bit. And I think Pete and I are planning on doing a lot more business with you. So be available to us, okay?
You bet. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. We heard a lot of positives today, Gary.
And I think and he's right. His tone, his viewpoint changes every day. So a few weeks ago when I was reading his stuff, it was very negative because every single day he's reassessing where we are. It's a very liquid time right now. And I feel encouraged. I feel better. I think you and I are going to be able to do more flipping and buying and all that. And people out there, I think if they're looking to get a loan for their residential property, or people are looking to get business loans, it's not as bleak as it was.
Well, you know, I was looking just yesterday, the NAR, that the National Association of Realtors, showings were down over 70% in the first 2 weeks after the shutdown. That has now come back by 50%. So it's moving in the right direction.
Good for everybody. And you know what? This makes me feel like we need to do a lot more of these.
I think we should, you
All
know.
right then.
So what we need is please put in the comments below. Please leave your questions, leave your comments, and we look forward to getting the right people on here to answer them.
Terrific. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Thanks, Gary.